What's up, guys? Welcome back to Railway Empire 2, and we are currently on the scenario La Dame de Fer, which actually has been not as easy as I wanted it to be to begin with. You join me currently trying to get Versailles connected to Paris, and also we've just got Montrevane connected, and the plan is now, if you look at the tasks, is we need to get 50 loads of steel delivered to Paris. So we need to get a steel plant somewhere, and the best place is here. So we need to get that to grow to 40,000. We've only got 2 years, so in them 2 years we need to grow to 40,000 and also produce 50 loads of steel, which isn't going to be easy. So I've currently got this line connected, ready to go now, so we can start looking at getting trains going down to Versailles, which should help us. As soon as we can. Let's get one train. One train is enough to get the bonus. We've got 12 days left, so we've got to hope it takes less than 12 days for that train to arrive. 11. It's not even left yet. 10. Could make it. Could just about make it to get the bonus. 9. 8. I can only apologise about how jumpy it is. That's mainly because this is actually on the PS4 version, guys. We're going to just about get that bonus. Wow. That doesn't include, we need to get cloth to there as well. Need to think about how we're going to get trains, because actually I feel St. Denis is a massive location now. St. Denis is probably going to be our biggest sort of town, if I'm completely honest. Mainly because it's being used as a warehouse. We're going to get rid of that train because it's broken down, and then just replace it with a second train. Not that it's majorly important, to be fair. It's not a massively busy route, so that's not an issue. Up to 15,000 people there, so we are actually starting to really pick up the pace, which is good. I don't know whether we should potentially open up this station to these 2 lines and stuff to get it 6 lines coming in, so that we can then run 2 trains from Versailles through to St. Denis as well, to give it an opportunity to help Versailles grow as well. I mean, is Versailles just going to stay a little tiny town or what? I'm not entirely sure whether or not we need it to be growing, but it's an ideal place to get cloth. So that we are going to connect this, and we're going to do it as cheap as we can. It's going to be pretty tough, that. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not going to be a cheap. Oh, we might have just found it. then what I might do is put the third line in. No. Doesn't really need it, does it? I think it's probably going to need 2 trains running on it constantly to keep a really good supply of cloth. For now, let's get 1 train on it. I can't see Versailles growing. We should potentially start heading up that way though, but then we've got to look at the demographic as well, and it's quite that's it's quite a bad demographic, but we could potentially get there because we need this to grow. What's that track planning for? So what I'm thinking here is we do make sure we've got the 4 lines coming in. So that makes it a little bit easier for us to manage the train traffic on both sides of the line. Seems a little bit extortionate. Oh man, this is doing my head in, it's freezing all the time. We are starting to slow down, but this time just like absolutely flying by as well. Feed that in. And feed that in. Okay, so that gives us now that running in. And we can then also run that in to that line as well, and then try and go further that way. We just have to take it bit by bit. What's that one? Oh, we took the supply tower away, didn't we? Okay, so we've got potential. We've got the potential for a new business up here. Probably cloth, if we can get it, because we've got it right there, and that helps with putting cloth into the system as well. We're up to 18,000, so it is growing really quickly, but time is going really quickly, and we haven't still got enough to even put a new business there, which is really, not great. And we don't want to be putting tools up here, because if we put tools up here, we've got to get steel all the way from our steel factory over here to here, and it's also just going to cost us a fortune, and we're not gonna. It's just not going to work. So I suppose for now we just keep going the way we're going, let the money build up, and hopefully we can get a city here, another industry. Let's get an industry here. Let's go for that, and put a dedicated. That's not bad. It's going to make us enough money to even care about, to be fair. We'll just put a dedicated single line. And it has to be one train, it's not even going that far. Cool, right. See, St. Denis would be a great place actually to put the tools. Because we're already connected, so it can move steel there. I'm just very, very conscious of the time is racking up really quickly. And we still need to double that figure yet. sure how that's going to work. It's like a dirty valley. It's going to end up costing me an absolute fortune. Actually, guys, that looks like that could work. So we could potentially then, of course, run the 4 lines in to that as well. So let's get that connected. Oh no, we don't want to do that. So Paris, I think we're going to have to upgrade. We're going to have to increase the amount of trains running on this. It's growing pretty quick. I'm not going to lie, it is growing really quickly. But is it growing quickly enough? That's the sort of question, isn't it? It is growing quite quick. So I think at this point we should make a save and then just kind of wait for the city to grow. Okay, so I've now been really pushing to get this place growing. We're up to 37. We've got just over a year to complete this first task now. I've put a immigration office there as well. We're now connected properly to here. We've got a wood connection here with a warehouse. And I've also connected down to here, which I've also purchased as well, just to try and keep our money growing up to like 1.5 million now. So we're doing really well. Let's see how much that is to upgrade. We'll do that. Obviously, that's more to upgrade than the whole thing was to purchase. I've also managed to get another business here. So I've put tools here at St. Denis. And I've reserved a spot here at Paris. Now, the other thing I've done here, guys, is I have put an express line now running between Paris, St. Denis, and the other city up here, so that we can keep it free for express only. And I've only put 2 gridirons on it, so the freight stays completely clear of the express line, and that way we can just be moving goods constantly, which is really helping everything, to be fair, goods being moved and stuff. Let's have a look at how many of them I've got. That's okay. Right, so yes, we're almost at the point here. In fact, we're there imminently. And we're going to put steel production here. So while we're waiting, we're going to get this connected as well. And I just wonder how much it is to purchase these pits. 116, yes, we'll purchase that. And 90, yes, we'll purchase that. And we'll get these both connected immediately. And we're also going to just put the 3rd line in here so that our train can sit on the siding and not interrupt the other trains. This should be almost ready to go, and then we need to do like really ramp the steel production up like immediately. So let's get ready to do this. So we're going to slow down time now so that we can focus on getting it right first time. So let's get a steel production. It's 487. New rail line from there to there, and that goes with we'll do a minimum of 4. And then we'll also do that to there. And again, we'll just do it with a minimum of 4. And we'll sit that on line number 3. And there we go. We can get we need to press play. That'll be why no trains are leaving. We're going to put here, let's put a maintenance depot there. And a maintenance depot there. So for steel production, we need both of them. So we should, we're starting to see now the goods moving, which is what we need. Good, and we're probably going to immediately up the production. Oh, there's another 400,000. So we're going to up the production straight away again. And then we're going to put a couple of trains in here. That will do the steel only to Paris, and then we need to be putting a train that does the slag to I don't think anything's going to require slag at the minute. Let me just see. So no. So Phossis, I believe, has the need for it, so we're going to send it up there. We've got the opportunity for another business up here. Is there anything up here that's like really worth doing? Chemicals, potentially. Yes, we could, but we also need the byproduct from copper cables. So what we'll do is we'll put another place marker there for now. Okay, right, so we should very quickly start producing steel once these 2 trains arrive. What I'm debating is taking the maintenance depot out of here. I don't really want to put a maintenance depot in here though, that's the problem. So it could be that we put a couple of maintenance posts along this line. Let's just put a couple of maintenance posts along this line just to help. Right, we're starting to produce steel now. Just make sure we've got some supply towers along the route here. That seems to have been missed somehow. Right, okay, so we're going to put a new rail line that goes just from here to Paris, and it's only going to take steel. And it's going to go with a minimum of 8. So we're going to wait for that one to happen, but that shouldn't be too long. Steel should start happening. It's already happening. We are producing, so that is good. And then we're also going to need to make another train that takes the slag to. So we might just put another siding in here, guys. So we'll do that to there, and that's only going to take the slag byproduct, and that's going to sit on line number 5, and that's going to go with a minimum of 8 as well. So that just then will get rid of the byproduct for us so that we can keep producing steel really quickly. First train's up to 4, so that's good. And what we don't really want to see is steel being moved elsewhere at the moment. So we've got a year to get this done now. So as long as everything keeps moving smoothly now, we shouldn't have a problem. We should, if we're doing 8 a train at a time, it's only like 6 or 7 trains, which won't take a year. Right, the first train of steel is heading to Paris now, and I think what we just need to stop is that one for now. Just not to take any steel for now, so that it doesn't take steel away from Paris. I'm also kind of thinking that we're going to extend this express line this way as well, so that we can then focus our efforts of goods being moved down this line without any issue. We just want that to be returning only with goods, I think, if it has to. So there we go, our first steel is arriving. By the time that's returned, we should have a handful of steel already ready to go. If not, already being sent on the next train to Paris. So let's have a look at doing that while we're just going to wait for this train to arrive here and unload, and then we're gonna have a jig about in Paris as well, because this Versailles over here is not really growing anyway. I'm not too bothered about Versailles. All I'm bothered about over there is the production of cloth, just bringing extra money to the town. So what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly delete that. We can sort that out in a minute. Let's now extend our express line. Something there isn't working. Oh. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Oh, and let's just get rid of what's going on here. Just demolish that for a minute. Okay, so that's going to let us do that now. And we're going to only go with, again, 2 gridirons, because I want to keep Express completely separate from goods. Just want to make sure that that is staying on the correct line. And that's also going to stay on the correct line. So we're going to change that one to freight and make sure again it stays on the correct line. So what we'll do is we'll do Paris, Montrevine to Paris, like that. And we'll make that express. And 2 trains that are doing that as well. And then we'll then change. That one's fine. That one's fine. And we'll change that one then to that's goods only, and we're just going to change it back to 2 trains, so that we're not flooding the tracks completely. So currently we've done 8 out of 50. Let's check our steel train and see what's going on with that. So we've definitely got our 2 express trains running on that. That's fine. Let's just see where our... Okay, so actually we've just unloaded our second load of steel. And guys, we've got another year, which is great, which means we're running on target here now. Let's check our milk train. Does that need to be 3? How's milk actually doing? Yeah, I think we could upgrade. That to 3 trains now, I think, to really help with that cheese production. I'm key. I've put a placeholder there because I really don't know what's going to be needed for Paris in the coming future. Let's see how our steel's doing all right. So what we're going to do now as well is allow that that one to now again start taking. Let's take steel so that we've got the opportunity, and that's actually running 2 full trains there. So let's make that 3 trains. So it can take steel now so that it can start making tools, which will allow tools then to be transferred to Paris. So then that's going to really give us that benefit there. So our 3rd train of steel is going. I don't feel the need currently to upgrade that to 2 trains, mainly because we do have that one running as well. So if it does want to take steel, it can. Oh yes, and we should finish that line going back in there, shouldn't we? And then that gives that its own line again. St. Denis is still growing, which is good. We're not making a lot of cloth. And I think that's because we are waiting on goods. Oh no, okay, so how about we level that up so that we can start making more cloth, and that probably would be a great place once we get the opportunity to put dressmakers. That would be. This line's not overwhelmed too bad, to be brutally honest. So we could probably just get away with one there. I want to see how much that's going to cost. Not really worth it, is it? Not too worried about that. Okay, let's check our steel production. We're 24 out of 50. We've got another one going, so that's 30. It's gone underground a little bit there. I don't know what happened there. Plenty of goods are being moved around, guys. Plenty of goods being moved. Happy with the way this is going, to be fair. Plenty of people using the express trains. Let's go back to putting a few maintenance posts on this line here. $32. How's our tool making business has started as well now, guys? Good, which means tools can start being delivered to London, Paris. So we're going to edit that and make sure that St. Denis. So St. Denis goes to Paris. So it goes Paris, Waypoint, St. Denis. Yeah. So we're going to make sure that is upped. So we're making sure tools are heading. And there's a reason I've not put a library in Paris at the minute, and that's because I think we're going to need to see it go over 100,000 to 32 out of 50. What's that train? Do you know what? There's an easy way of doing this. Let's replace it. It should kick back in. Just delete that one train and edit it back to being 2. So does that go? It does. You know what? Let's edit that to 3 trains now, because that's actually full, which is nice. We're growing here, we're growing here, we're still growing in Fossis. We're not bothered about Versailles. Paris has slowed down, we're growing here. We're not too worried about here either for now. Is it worth maybe upping that to 3? It doesn't seem that way. $40 out of 50, great stuff. And how is our tools? We are producing. Just seems to be on the slow side. What's that one? I mean, the demand for tools might still be needed here before it starts sending. Yeah, so it's fulfilled its own demand for tools, and we should then start to see tools being shipped once it starts producing them. Is it worth to up it? 614k. Yeah, why not? Do you know what? We've also got potatoes there as well, which would work to come in here as well. And do you know what? Actually, we'll send it that way, so that we can have potatoes warehoused over there, and that way that will help that grow. Oh. And then we'll put potatoes in the warehouse there. Cool. So up to 40. Let's see where we are at here. That's our steel train. Let's edit that so it's a different train. It should start going again soon. That's going to take us to 48. Because of that one train we have currently ground to a halt, so you need to hurry up. We've still done no tools yet, guys. The tools are being produced now, so the tools should, and we probably need to stop tools being sent. We'll see. Could need more trains. But we'll see. We'll see what happens now. Hopefully, it's going to take some tools. Hopefully. Okay, so our first tools are now moving to Paris, so that is now going to start fulfilling that task as well. So good. Happy with that now, guys. Still growing here quite rapidly. Where's our steel train? Okay, it's not that train. 40. Oh, it's already there. And loading. That's a cracking train. And I think up here in Fosses would be a great place to do whatever with when we've got that slag. We just need potentially more cities being brought into it to really make things grow, but at the minute, quite happy with the way this is going. And we're growing up here as well now, which is good. We've got oil or whatever that is there, so we might need that here to produce something else. I don't know where we're going to be heading with this. Okay, so we're currently, yes, we're hitting the 3 out of 20 tools. Goods are being moved between them. Steel's being moved up to there. How is our steel production coming on? Great, not an issue. And tools, they are being produced, and that's all we need to see. Okay, so we fulfilled the steel, which is brilliant, because I was quite worried that that wasn't going to necessarily happen. So, does Paris still need steel after that? I don't know. We might find that we don't need it after that. And that train will just then sit there and do nothing. I think we're going to have to put the maintenance depot back there, unfortunately. We'll see what this train does now, because if it doesn't take any steel, we'll delete the train, and then we'll just up the other train to 3. Great. So it's going to get service first. Okay, so it is still taking steel, so that's absolutely fine then. We don't need to worry about that too much. What we do need to have a look at, though, is the fact that steel production is going to slow down. So we might have to... The train that's going... We might have to up that to 2 trains, you know, so that we can get rid of it. Tool production, 6 out of 20, so that is racking up now, guys. Brilliant. Happy with the way that's going. Let's check our warehouse here. We're oversubscribed with wheat and potatoes at the minute, but everything else is okay. We can deal with that. The trains are moving, which is, you know, of course, what we need to see. Tools heading to Paris, again, something we need to see. great stuff. And we've, like I said, we've also got places to build new businesses, and the demand there is 84%, and we're at 83,000. So as soon as we kind of hit 90,000, we'll put another place marker. We're up to 70,000 there, and we'll put a place marker there, and we're now up to, once it wants to load, 34,000 up there as well. So we're doing really well now, guys. Happy with the way this is going. I suppose we could look at what are the sort of commodities we've got knocking about in these areas. Beans, well, we've got beans already down here. We've got coal there, whatever that is. I don't know if we need that at the minute. Could be worth to run a train up there, I don't know, to go and activate that. But I think that is pretty much the same as that. We could get this city involved. Get it potentially connected to St. Denis. If we do it via the goods lines that we've actually got going on currently. Or even via Fosses. Doesn't really hurt, does it? Doesn't even necessarily have to grow, it's just another couple of trains running, which will benefit us. I just don't want to flood the lines coming into St. Denis down here too much, if I'm completely honest. That's one of my concerns, because there's only 2 lines coming in there that they're going to get flooded with trains, and then it's just going to grind to a halt, and it's kind of absolutely unnecessary. Because we've got wood trains, we've got milk, and they're all coming in on just 2 single lines, and we're also going up to Fosses as well. So unless we edit that, so we do Fosses to St. Denis, so St. Denis to Fosses, back to St. Denis, and then something doesn't feel right there. Why wouldn't that work? Why wouldn't that work at all? It would. Right, let's do that. So it's a 3-way train. Let's put 4 trains on that. And then let's get rid of this other train that's running between. That one. There we go. So we're not over. We're only adding 2 more trains in. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. Keeps freezing and jumping. We're up to 8 out of 20 of the tools. How are we actually doing for tools? We're constantly making. I suppose other cities are demanding tools at the same time as well. So unless oh, here we go. Let's put a place marker here for now. Paint factory, great. Something else we're going to have to do. Unless Dennis has actually got enough steel, and it's just not pumping. It has got 12 steel. It has got 12 steel, so it is producing. Maybe we just need to up the tool production. Oof. Yeah, don't fancy that. We have got. I know why we're not making tools, because it's not taking. It's not taking the sawdust away from it. That's why tools are so slow to be made, because we're making sawdust from one factory. So maybe we should put a new rail line that just constantly takes sawdust. Two trains, freight, but it only takes sawdust. Let's see. So if it's only taking sawdust, it can help us get rid of the sawdust, ready for more tools being made. But it depends on where it's taking the sawdust from. Is it just taking the sawdust from one or the other? Maybe we should warehouse toilet rolls there. Maybe that will help. Just trying to get more goods moving, realistically, because we've got loads of toilet roll here and it's not moving anywhere. So it's only taking the stuff that's actually already there, and do you know what, we're gonna stop it taking wheat. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop that taking wheat. We still haven't increased any more tools. We've definitely got tools moving. It's just very slow, guys. So we're just going to wait for this to finish now. We are super close now, 18 out of 20. What I've decided to do, guys, is... There's our last tools heading that way. I have decided to put a toilet roll factory up here as well, so that we can get rid of some of that excess sawdust. So I've just put a singular train that will go from here up that way. It's obviously waiting its turn to get it. Can I put up that? Put a maintenance depot there. Put a maintenance depot there as well. So the trains are getting maintained up that way as well. That should really help with the trains in this station, especially on that singular line here. I've put a place marker both here and here for now. There we go. So we've completed the tools task. So we now need to found the business Simon Quarry, and then we need to deliver 45 loads of steel components from up in Juventus to Paris. Okay, so that's our next next port of call. Oh wow, okay, so where is it? Okay. Oh, it's over here. Okay, right. So let's see. Let's purchase that while we can. And let's just quickly see what our task is in regards to it. So Simon Quarry is that one there. Okay, so we need to found that. So to found that we need 8 wood, 4 meat and 12 bread. That's fairly simple. So we've got bread there, cheese, and that. So our wood's going to come from St. Denis. That should be fairly simple. We can just extend the line and then just get it to cross over a little bit. We'll sort that out. Or we can even run one that will run from Lambert Rest or something. We'll figure that out in a minute. And then we need to deliver 45 loads of steel. So it's either Directs, Manta de la Jolie, and... Okay, right. Okay, so let's see what we need to first off make the manufacturing plant. So we need rivets and we need steel. So we're going to need rivets, which is coal and steel, which we do have. We have access to both of them, which realistically is ideal there, or even there, because we can then make rivets right where we are there. Then we can transfer the rivets, we can make a new line or even a new station and run the line over through Versailles and to this region where we can start making our steel. So if we can start growing these 3 cities rather quickly, we do have the means. We've got meat, we've got cheese, we've got that, and we've got cloth in Versailles. So Versailles should start growing. We've got until December 84 to do the quarry, which isn't my main concern at the minute. That should happen pretty quickly once we get a rail network running. We've got 6 million to play with, so that's going to be our main goal here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to switch that to a rivets factory, and we shouldn't even really need to do much there. That should start producing rivets immediately, and then when we come back in part 3, we're going to work on this region and really make that grow. So join me in part 3, guys. I know part 2 was fairly long. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.